Imagine a thrilling adventure where brave contestants step into the wild, each carrying only 10 basic survival items. Oh, can you guess what they might be? It's all about using their cleverness and skills to find food and build shelter. How will they manage in the great outdoors? But wait. There's more to this journey than just finding food. These adventurous players must face the challenges of isolation. Can you feel the silence around them as they navigate not only the tricky environment but also the mind-boggling pressure of being alone and competing? How will this affect them? As the journey unfolds, each contestant displays different survival skills, from hunting to fishing. Isn't it exciting to see their unique backgrounds and stories come to life? Each strategy they use shows how differently they approach the competition. What strategies do you think are the most effective? But challenges arise at every corner. Contestants find themselves building shelters and gathering food. It's like a puzzle that requires thoughtful planning. How will they react when surprises pop up? Their quick thinking will truly shine in this survival test. Oh no! The emotional weight of failure hits hard when one contestant loses important hunting tools. Can you imagine how quickly fortunes can change in this fierce competition? This moment teaches everyone about the power of bounce back and resilience.
Will te reis from the asses?
You see, the contestants come from all walks of life, and that makes their survival strategies so interesting. Each experience shapes how they make decisions when times get tough. Isn't that fascinating? Think about how diversity adds a whole new layer to this competition.
Now let's dive into Mikey's adventure.
He finds himself lost in the forest, and oh boy, does he realize the importance of preparation. Marking paths can save a whole lot of trouble. What challenges will Mikey face now that he's lost? And then there's the issue of staying hydrated. When Mikey shows signs of thirst, it reminds us all just how precious water is in the wilderness. Can he find enough to drink? What will happen next?
But wait.
Mikey pulls through, eventually finding a campsite. His success symbolizes hope and resilience. Such a wonderful reminder that even in tough times, persistence shines through. What wonders could he experience at his new campsite? However, the psychological challenges begin to weigh heavily on contestants like Mikey. Oh, the struggles of feeling defeated can be so real. This shows us how important our minds are when it comes to surviving.
How will Mikey cope with these feelings?
With survival on the line, seeking food becomes vital. When Mikey tries to hunt but faces failures, can you feel the tension? It isn't easy to find dinner in the wild. Just imagine the challenges of searching for something to eat.
But wait. Resourcefulness is key.
Mikey crafts homemade arrows, demonstrating how he adapts to overcome obstacles while searching for food. Isn't it exciting to see how creativity plays into survival? Look at the villa they built. What creativity! Contestants use natural materials to create shelters that are both imaginative and eco-friendly. It's all about adapting to their surroundings in a competitive way.
How cool is that?
Fishing becomes the next big mission. Contestants struggle to catch enough food, and oh, the experiences teach them just how challenging it can be in a survival situation. Will they rise to the occasion? Contestants like Lai show extraordinary dedication. They work tirelessly to build their shelters, even when hunger and exhaustion creep in. Can you feel their determination? What does it take to keep going?
But oh.
The protagonist worries about sneaky wildlife stealing food from water gazelles. This constant threat keeps him on his toes. Nature can be so unpredictable, right? What might he do to protect his food? Then, a big moment arrives as the protagonist tries to hunt a black bear.
Wat a brave move.
But he struggles and has to reflect on his skills. This makes us think about the importance of being flexible and adapting in survival situations.
But hold on, there's a twist.
Despite setbacks, the protagonist catches multiple fish. This shows us that even amidst challenges, moments of success can arise. Isn't that just thrilling? How can we find joy in our struggles too? As the protagonist thinks about family and home, it adds a touching layer to the tale.
These reflections highlight the emotional journey of enduring isolation in the wild.
Can you feel the warmth of those memories? Building proper shelters is essential to keep warm in the chilly weather. Just imagine the techniques they need to master to ensure they stay cozy in the winter. What materials do you think they will use? As participants carefully manage their food supplies, the challenge grows. Catching fish and finding food becomes trickier. Weight loss and hunger become real threats. How will they cope with these worries? The emotional weight of isolation can feel so heavy. Contestants reflect on their choices and the challenges they face. Isn't it fascinating how tough situations push us to think deeply? But then comes a thrilling moment. Alon catches his fourth fish.
Oh, the joy of accomplishment.
This brings such satisfaction and highlights the rewards of not giving up.
Can you feel the excitement?
As the adventure continues, food scarcity becomes a big challenge, especially with the weather turning volatile. This reminds everyone how vital it is to be clever and resourceful. What might they do to overcome this? Mikey shines again as he crafts wooden traps to catch small animals. His creativity shows how survival skills are crucial in the wild. Isn't that inspiring? What other skills do you think he'll display? Navigating the tough wilderness brings about feelings of fear and anxiety. Contestants often feel isolated and vulnerable, which shows us that mental challenges are just as important as the physical ones. How can they conquer those worries? To survive, contestants must be resourceful. They create tools for hunting and gathering food, even making their own arrows from whatever materials they find. Isn't it incredible how creativity leads to survival? Emotional resilience gets tested too. Contestants face personal struggles along with their desire to win. Moments of despair mix with small victories, like catching food or crafting essential tools.
How will they keep pushing forward?
Mikey faces a tough time with insomnia and limited resources, revealing the mental strain of survival. He fights to find food and deal with the tough conditions. How will he handle this pressure? Meanwhile, Lan's fishing attempts show just how important food preservation is in bad weather. Despite setbacks, he adapts his strategies. Isn't it amazing how resourcefulness can make a difference?
The emotional effects of isolation hit hard for Melanie, who longs for home and feels nostalgic.
Her experiences show us the psychological challenges contestants face. Can you imagine such feelings while in the wild? Even amidst the waves of failure, Lon keeps fishing. His perseverance shines through, showing the importance of mental strength to reach goals. Isn't that encouraging? What lessons can we take from his journey? Fishing can bring out unexpected feelings, like anger when a fish slips away. Can you feel the mix of emotions? Nature can evoke powerful reactions, and those feelings are part of the fishing adventure. As the story unfolds, we see various survival skills, like hunting and gathering food, reminding us how crucial it is to adapt to nature. Isn't it amazing how these skills can be the difference between life and death? Yet, contestants continue to struggle with fishing and food shortages. Finding sustenance becomes increasingly difficult. How can they adjust their strategies in these tricky situations? Weather is an ever-present challenge. It affects contestants' ability to gather resources like firewood and food. Oh, how they must constantly think of new survival tactics. What could those tactics be? Throughout their journey, injuries appear, complicating survival efforts. Can you imagine having to treat wounds while foraging for food? This shows just how important self-care is in extreme situations. Mikey faces obstacles in hunting and struggles with his limited resources. His inexperience becomes clear when food eludes him. How can he learn from these experiences to improve his skills? After much thought, Melanie makes a hard choice to leave the competition. The longing for her husband weighs heavily on her heart. Isn't it tough when emotions clash with survival? But what a celebration it is when Alan catches a huge fish on his birthday. This amazing achievement boosts his spirits and chances in the competition. Can you feel the joy radiating from his success? Survivors must endure freezing temperatures that drop below zero. Oh, what challenging conditions for their health and survival strategies. How will they adapt to these icy mountains and win the fight for survival? As Mikey's health begins to deteriorate from hunger and cold, he faces a tough choice to leave the competition. This highlights the sacrifices participants make in the battle for survival. How will that impact his journey? The journey emphasizes how isolation and extreme conditions can weigh heavily on the mind. Survivors must manage their mental state while tackling the physical challenges in their environment. Isn't that a compelling aspect of their survival tale?